Why do two of the world's most powerful nations, Germany and Japan, refuse to build nuclear weapons, while a small, isolated state, North Korea, has armed itself to the teeth? The answer lies in a high-stakes mix of treaties, alliances, politics, and history. This is the story of three countries, three nuclear choices, and what they tell us about power, fear, and survival in the 21st century. Let's start with a paradox. Germany and Japan, tech giants, economic powerhouses, leaders in global innovation. But both have no nuclear weapons and no plans to get them. Meanwhile, North Korea, impoverished, isolated, and sanctioned, has up to 50 nuclear warheads and is still building more. What explains this dramatic divide? To find out, we have to look at international treaties, military alliances, domestic laws, and the unique histories that shaped each country's nuclear path. Germany and Japan are both signatories of the Nuclear Nonproliferation Treaty, NPT, a global pact signed in the late 1960s that prohibits them from developing nuclear weapons. But for these two nations, it's more than just a legal obligation. It's part of their national identity. Germany, after igniting two world wars, made a conscious decision to turn its back on weapons of mass destruction. In the wake of unimaginable devastation, the country sought to rebuild trust with the world. Renouncing nuclear arms wasn't just policy, it was penance. The Western powers, once burned by Germany's militarism, were adamant. Never again would such destructive power lie in the hands of a nation capable of triggering global catastrophe. Japan's story is even more personal. As the only country to have ever suffered the horror of a nuclear attack, Japan emerged from the ashes of Hiroshima and Nagasaki as a powerful voice against nuclear weapons. Its anti-nuclear stance became a defining part of its global image. For both nations, the NPT isn't just a treaty. It's a pillar of their post-war legacy and a foundation for international trust.
This non-proliferation treaty is yet another measure, like the Test Ban Treaty and the agreements on outer space for the control of the weapons of mass destruction.
Then there's North Korea. It too signed the NPT, but in 2003 it walked away. Since then, North Korea has thumbed its nose at international norms, tested nuclear weapons, and built up an arsenal, shattering the global consensus and rejecting the very treaty that others uphold as a cornerstone of peace. Here's the key difference. Germany and Japan don't need nukes because they're protected by powerful friends. Germany is part of NATO, safely under the US nuclear umbrella. Japan has a security pact with the United States. America has vowed to defend it, nukes included. That promise of protection means they can afford to stay nuclear-free. North Korea?
No umbrella, no allies.
No trust. It watched what happened to Iraq and Libya, regimes that gave up their weapons of mass destruction, only to be overthrown. Kim Jong-un took a very different lesson. Nukes aren't a luxury, they're a lifeline. For him, survival means strength, even if that strength makes his country a global outcast. Domestic politics also matter. In Germany and Japan, the public is strongly anti-nuclear. Their constitutions, laws, and political cultures all reject nuclear weapons. Germany's history makes the idea of a German nuke politically toxic. Japan has its three non-nuclear principles.
This treaty is not the work of any one country, but is in fact the product of all nations which shared our concerns over the danger of nuclear proliferation.
And a powerful pacifist identity. North Korea, the opposite. It's an authoritarian regime. No elections,
No protests.
no press. In 2022, Kim's government even passed a law making its nuclear status irreversible. For Pyongyang, nukes aren't just weapons. They're part of the regime's identity. So what does North Korea want from its nukes? Deterrence, to stop the US or South Korea from attacking. Leverage, to force negotiations and concessions. Prestige, to make the world treat it as a nuclear power. But it comes at a cost. Sanctions, isolation, and economic ruin. Meanwhile, Germany and Japan gain trust, diplomatic credibility, and stability by staying non-nuclear, even if they rely on the US for protection. Germany and Japan play by the rules and help hold the global system together. Their restraint has been powerful. By staying nuclear-free, they've helped prevent arms races in Europe and Asia. North Korea? The opposite. Its nuclear program has done the exact thing the world fears. Sparked an arms buildup across East Asia. South Korea is openly debating whether to build its own nukes. Japan is ramping up its defense budget. China is expanding its nuclear arsenal. And globally, North Korea's example sends a chilling message. Get nukes, and no one can touch you. That's not just dangerous, it's destabilizing. 3 countries, 3 choices. Germany and Japan chose alliances and restraint. North Korea chose isolation and the bomb. Their paths show that nuclear decisions aren't just about power. They're about trust, fear, history, and hope. The question is, in a more dangerous world, will more nations follow the path of peace, or will they follow the path of North Korea? Like, subscribe and let us know, should more countries have nuclear weapons, or none at all?